Book 5 Afterword. Hello, this is Roy, the author of By the Grace of the Gods. Thank you for purchasing Volume 5. We've made it to the 5th volume thanks to your support, and at the time of this writing, there are 2 volumes of the manga version on sale as well. The production of this volume was done in a different environment from the first 4. Those who read my reports on the website Shosetsuka ni Naro probably know this already, but I've moved to a different house. It's way out in the countryside, where there are tarantulas, snakes, centipedes, rabbits, wild ducks, and boars popping up regularly. Thankfully, I only heard about those last 2 being around from my neighbors, but who knows when I'll run into them. The tarantulas aren't poisonous, and they actually eat the other bugs, so the locals consider them useful to have around. But some of the snakes and boars are apparently very dangerous. As some of you pointed out on my online report, this sort of brings me closer to Ryoma's environment. Maybe being closer to nature and wild animals could help with my creativity. I'm using this new environment as a chance to get a fresh perspective and keep improving, so I hope you'll continue to support me in the future. Bonus short story. Dolce's Diary, Founding Festival Chapter. Another day of writing in my diary. I feel like I've been repeatedly covering the same topic recently, but yes, my topic is the Founding Festival. It happened today, in fact, so what else would I write about? The whole town was oddly quiet this morning. It was like the last few weeks of activity had suddenly been suppressed. But it hadn't disappeared, and when the bell finally rang, the festival began. The cheers of the surge of visitors spread instantly across the city. I walked out into town on my own. Using some money I saved up, I set out to enjoy the festival for probably the first time. "Hey there, man, want to eat some of this? It's cold and delicious." Clerks cried out for me to buy their products as I got something to eat from one of the food stands. This wasn't my first time at the festival, it happened every year. However, I never had any money for it until now. I never had enough money for more than a few days' worth of food at any given time, so all I could do was look at the festival stands from afar. There were some that sold dolls or had games to play to win prizes, but I would never even think of spending money on something that couldn't fill my stomach back then. I also couldn't enjoy the event due to how much my clothes betrayed my lack of wealth. Someone with extravagant clothes is a noble or otherwise wealthy. Even without that, as long as someone's clothes are new and in good shape, you can assume that they have a decent income. Most families buy used clothes to wear. New clothes are a luxury. Those of us from the slums wear clothes from the used clothes store in our neighborhood. That place scrounges up and sews together clothes that are so ragged that not even the regular used clothes stores will sell them. They're covered in patches, of course, and small holes aren't uncommon either. It was obvious at a glance that I was poor in those clothes, so the clerks wouldn't even bother talking to me. If you show them you have money and ask for something, though, then they'd sell it to you. I don't remember when it was, but sometime when I was young, I gave in to my curiosity and bought something to eat. Thing is, the way people looked at me wasn't too nice. I was walking around with something I paid for, but they acted like I stole it. And when I got near any wealthier people, they treated me like a pickpocket. I was able to buy food, but at a cost that would hurt me in the following days, and I didn't want to draw all this needless suspicion either. When I got older, I figured out that the festival wasn't for the poor to enjoy and avoided it for the most part. But it's different now. Ever since I started to work at the laundromat, they've provided food and a home for me. I started wearing clothes from a normal used clothes store too, though I don't buy replacements that often. And after I bought some clothes, I still had most of my income left. In the same way my older brothers and sisters helped me through life when I was a kid, I've been sending my support to the slums. I've also been drinking the booze my successful brothers recommend, and I've even gone out to try some sweets that the girls at the laundromat were talking about one day. I also bought some writing utensils that Karma introduced me to and got a pretty nice set. I still can't believe it. I can't believe I don't have to worry about money in general, but even more than that, I can't believe that today was the day I overspent and ran out. I guess I was too careless with it. I always focused on saving money before, so this is the first time I've found myself broke since I started to work for the laundromat. But like I said before, I don't have to worry about food or shelter, so I've got no anxieties in life. But as I pursued my curiosity and partook in the festival, I ran out of money before I knew it. I had a pouch full of copper coins, so who knows where all that went? I thought it was a pickpocket at first, but after thinking about it for a while, I came to the conclusion that I just spent it all. I tried all the food and the fascinating games, shelling out money all over the place. In the past, I didn't even have the option of using money like this. Now that I think back on it as I write this diary entry, I'm pretty confident that I simply wasted my money. Again, I don't have to worry about covering necessities as long as I take my job seriously. But I still don't think wasting money is a good habit to get into. I should try not to do it again, but I'm not sure exactly how to avoid it. All I know is that I have regrets. If I ask Carm, I'm sure he would have advice. I put down my pen and looked over what I wrote. As I did, I again recognized that something had changed about me. I made a mistake today, but I found it kind of amusing, strangely. Bonus short story. Jeff and the kids. Bro. I bought something. Nice, sit down and eat it while it's hot. The founding festival was underway, and the streets were busy. Fitting in perfectly with the fervor of the crowd, 6 boys and girls had their arms full of food they'd bought from the festival stands. The man who prompted them to sit took a seat in the break area himself and handed out the drinks that he purchased. Here, my treat. Don't drink it too quick. Thank you. The kids, all under the age of 15, thanked him and dug into their food. Delicious. It's so good. How do you like eating food bought with money you earned yourself? Pretty good, yay? The man asked. The kids responded with their actions, wolfing down the food with vigor. Phew, all done. Hey, Jeff, how should I go about getting stronger and making more money? More than you do now, you mean? Let's see here, you've all got decent equipment, right? I can keep checking to see how your combat skills are improving, but other than that, I haven't got much else to teach you. How can that be? You're B rank, moron. S rank, F rank, it's all basically the same. You just get there with enough training and experience. You kids don't have enough training or experience yet, but I've taught what I can teach as far as the basics. Beck, what are you panicking about? I'm not panicking, not really. Then Jeff picked up on the cause of Beck's uncertainty. It's Ryoma, isn't it? Sounds like he's been helping you kids out. He's about the same age as you two, so I guess he's making you self-conscious. Heck no, he's not. I knew a guy who made me feel that way, so I get it. But heck, Jeff said and looked up, a serious expression on his face. Don't compare yourself to him. I'm serious. You'd think he was an ancient elf with all the skills he's learned. For me, I was 17 or 18 before I could really make a living on my own. Really? Of course. Before I got good enough to beat monsters without much trouble, I had to pay for food, medicine, and equipment the same way you do. Being an adventurer is all about gradual improvement. Just make sure you're making enough to eat, and you're good. Jeff ate as he talked about his past and his mistakes, imparting adventuring tips on the children. Ryoma watched them pleasantly from his food stand. But due to the noisy crowd, he didn't hear how his name was brought up multiple times.